Good day, everyone. This is Jenny's Fashion Channel. Thanks to all my amazing fans and subscribers. This channel is all about leveling up on your fashion designing skill. And today, I'm going to teach you how to cut a female shirt with neck collar and the sleeves. So if it is what you're all about, you are definitely at the right place. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, now will be a very good time for you to smash on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Without further ado, let's jump right in, shall we? The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline. Then I'm going to draw a line here to serve as a guide because the edge of my paper is not straight. Then I'm going to go out by 2.5 inches from those points for my buttonholes, okay? You can use 3 inches, but I prefer using 2.5 inches. I will mark it and draw the line. Then for the neck curve, I'm going to use 2.5 inches for the neck width and 3 inches for the neck depth. I will mark and I will connect like so. Then I'm going to go off from those points by 1.5 inches diagonally. I will mark and connect like so to get a perfect round curve. Then I'm going to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 16. If it is being divided by 2, it will give me 8. Then I'm going to add half an inch, okay, joining allowance, okay. Then I will mark it. Then I'm going to go down by 1.5 inches from the shoulder point, okay, for the shoulder slope, okay, because what we are working on is shirt. Then I will mark it and connect it to the neck width like so. Then for my armhole depth, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, okay. I will mark it, then I will connect like so. Then from those points, I'm going to draw a horizontal line from those points as my chest line. Then the next thing is to get my armhole curve. And for me to get my armhole curve, I'm going to get the midpoint of this my armhole line, okay. I will mark it. Then from those points, I'm going to go in by half an inch. I will mark it. Then on the chest line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4. Then I will add 1 inch ease, okay, because what we are working on is shirt. I will mark it. Then I will connect like so to get a perfect armhole curve. Then I will come down by 10 inches for my bust line and come down by 17 inches for my waistline. Then I will come down by 24 inches for the full shirt length, and I will add 1 inch for joining allowance. I will mark and draw the lines. Then I will take my horizontal measurement on the chest line. I'm going to add 1 inch for joining allowance. On the bust line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for joining allowance. I will mark it. On the waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for joining allowance. I will mark it, okay? Then on the full shirt length, I'm going to take my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for joining allowance. I will mark it and mark the same thing on the joining allowance line. Then I will connect my markings to serve as a guide for cutting. This is just a free shirt, okay, so I'm not going to add dots. That's why we added 1 inch for ease, okay, so that it will be free. Then we are going to reduce this our shoulder by 1 inch, okay, because this is the front part. Then this 1 inch, we are going to add it to the back part, okay, to give it that shirt effect. So I'm going to go down by 1 inch from those points. I will mark and connect like so. Then I'm going to add half an inch joining allowance on the shoulder line, okay? Then I will mark and connect like so. This first line is no longer needed. I will cut off this rough edge. So guys, that's it. Before cutting, I'm going to fold this my button allowance like so, okay? Then I will go ahead and cut. So follow me closely. Let's cut. Please, you can create a small curve, okay, here, if you don't want the edge to be sharp, okay, though this is optional. So I want to give it a small curve, okay, to remove that sharp edge. And always fold your hemming allowance like so, okay, so that you are not going to run short of fabric after cutting. Then I'll continue cutting. So guys, that's it. You can see how perfect it came out. We now move over to the back panel. The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline. Then I will draw a line here because the edge of my paper is not straight. Then for the neck curve, I'm using 2.5 inches for the neck width and half an inch for the neck depth. I will mark and I will connect like so. Then I will get my shoulder measurement, divide by 2 plus half an inch for joining. I will mark it. Then I'm going to go down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slope. I will mark it and I'm going to connect it to the neck width like so. Then I'm going to get my armhole depth. I will mark it and I will connect like so. Then I'm going to draw a line horizontally from those points as my choice line. Then for the armhole curve, I'm going to get the midpoint of this my armhole line. I will mark it. Then on the chest line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 4 plus 1 inch for ease. I will mark it and I will connect like so. Then I'm going to come down by 10 inches for my bust line and I will come down by 17 inches for the waistline. I will come down by 24 inches for the full shirt length and I will add 1 inch for hemming allowance. I will mark and draw the lines. Then I will take the horizontal measurement. On the chest line, I'm going to add 1 inch for joining allowance. On the bust line, I'm going to take my bust measurement divide by 4 plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for joining allowance. I will mark it. On the waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement divide by 4 plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for joining allowance. I will mark it. On the full shirt length, I'm going to take my hip measurement divide by 4 plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for joining allowance. I will mark it and mark the same thing on the hemming allowance line. Then I will connect my markings to serve as a guide for cutting. I will remove the sharp edge here by creating a curve just the same way I did on the front part. Then on the shoulder line, I'm going to add that 1 inch we removed from the front part, okay? You know, we removed 1 inch from the front shoulder. So I'm going to add it to the back shoulder like so. I will mark and connect like so. Then I'm going to add half an inch joining allowance. I will mark and I will connect like so. So guys, that's it. I'll go ahead and cut. So guys, that's it. This is how the shoulder will be joined, okay? Then for the button allowance, I will first fold in half an inch, okay? Then I will fold another 1 inch like so. Then I will cut off this excess. Then for the neck collar, I'm going to take my neck measurement, okay, my neck curve measurement, and I'm going to start taking the measurement from this my button allowance, okay? I have 1 inch after I folded it, okay? So I have 1 inch left for the buttons, okay? Then I'm going to exclude this my joining allowance because by the time you join the front part to the back part, that joining allowance will not be there again, okay? So after measuring, I got about 5.5 inches, okay, for the front panel. Then for the back panel, I have 3.5 inches there. If this pattern paper were unfold, by the time you open it up, for the front panel, you get about 11 inches. Then for the back panel, you have about 7 inches. So altogether, we have about 18 inches. So this 18 inches is what we are going to use to cut our cape with, okay? So for the cape, I'm going to fold my paper into 4 like so, okay? Then the first thing is to draw a line as my baseline. The width of the cape we are working with is 18 inches. I will mark it and draw the line. Then from this point, I'm going to go down by half an inch. I will mark it. Then I will get the midpoint of this, my baseline. I will mark it. Then I'm going to connect it like so. I am working on the cape stand, okay? So the length measurement of the cape stand I'm working with is 1.25 inches. I will mark it. And I will start taking my measurement from this half an inch. I went downward and I will carry on like so. Then I'm going to connect my markings. This part is the part that will be joined on the shirt, okay? You can leave it this way. You can as well go in by half an inch, okay, to give it a small curve. Then I will add half an inch joining allowance all around. So this is it. I'll go ahead and cut. So guys, this is how it looks like if you open it up. Then for the collar itself, I will fold my pattern paper into 4. Then I will draw a line here as my baseline. The collar width measurement we are working with is 18 inches. But this my pattern paper is on fold, so we are going to divide it by 2. It will give me 9. I will mark it. Then from this point, I'm going to go down by 2.5 inches because the length of collar I'm working with is 2.5 inches. I will mark it and I will connect like so. Then from this point, I'm going to go in by 1 inch. And from this point, I'm going to go out by 1/4 of an inch. I will mark and I will connect like so. Then from this point, I'm going to go down by 1 inch. I will mark it and I will connect like so. Then I will add half an inch all around like so and I will connect. Then I will cut. By the time you open it up, this is how it's going to look like. In joining the cape to the dress, you first join the cape stand to the dress. You first place one down because this is 2, okay? We have 2 pieces here of the cape stand. You place one down. You place your shirt on top of it. Then use one cape to cover it, okay? You are going to use half an inch to stitch it. And you are going to start your stitching from the center. Then for the cape itself, you are going to iron gum stay to it. You are going, we have 2 pieces there. So you are going to iron gum stay to 1 piece, okay? Then the piece without gum stay, you are going to use it to stitch the cape stand, okay? You are going to start from the center. You stitch it all through to the side, okay? Then you use the one with gum stay to cover it up, okay? You are going to use the half an inch we left for joining to stitch it down. The part with gum stay is the one that is going to face out, okay? By the time you put on the shirt and fold the collar, the one that is going to face out, that is where your gum stay will be. Then after joining, you use half an inch to stitch up the upper part. Then we move over to the sleeve. In drafting your dress, the back side of the armhole curve and the front side of the armhole curve are always different. And that is going to reflect on the sleeve. So, this my pattern paper is not on fold because I'll be drafting the back side of the sleeve and the front side of the sleeve separately. So I'm going to draw a line at the center of the paper to demarcate the 2 sides like so. The first thing is to draw a line as my baseline, which will serve as my shoulder line. I'll go ahead and label this the back side of the sleeve and this the front side of the sleeve. The next thing is to get the bicep line. The bicep line is the largest part of your upper arm. That's the muscle part of your upper arm. And my own is 7 inches from the shoulder. I will mark it. I will mark the same thing on the front side of the sleeve. Then I will draw the line like so. The next thing is to get my sleeve length. And I'm using 9 inches for my sleeve length. Though this purely depends on you. So I will come down from my shoulder by 9 inches. I will mark it. And add 1.5 inches for my hemming allowance. You can use 1 inch. I will mark it. I will mark the same thing on the front side of the sleeve. And I will draw the lines like so. I will go ahead and take the horizontal measurement. For the bicep line, the measurement I'm working with is 13 inches. Okay? So I'm going to divide it by 2. And I will add 1 inch for ease. I will mark it. I'll mark the same thing on the front side of the sleeve. Then on the full sleeve length, the measurement I'm working with there is 12 inches. So I'm going to divide it by 2 plus 1 inch for ease. I will mark it and mark the same thing on the hemming allowance line. I'll go ahead and connect my markings like so. I will replicate the same thing on the front side of the sleeve. I'll go ahead and connect my bicep measurement point to the baseline, that's to the shoulder line like so. I will do the same thing on the front side of the sleeve. On this back side of the sleeve, I'm going to break this line into 3 segments, okay? So I will first take the line measurement, and after measuring the line, I got about 9 inches. So I'm going to divide the 9 by 3. It will give me 3 inches. So each segment will take 3 inches. Are we on the same page? On this last segmented part, on this very one, I'm going to get the midpoint of it. That's, I'm going to divide it by 2. And we have 3 inches there. Divide by 2, 1.5 inches. So I will mark it there. And from that point, I'm going to go in by half an inch like so. Then on this first segmented point, I'm going to go up by 0.75 inch like so. Then I will go ahead and connect all these points like so. So this is just it for the back side of the sleeve. Then for the front side of the sleeve, we are going to break this line into 4 segments. And I have 9 inches on that line. So I'm going to divide it by 4. It will give me 2.25 inches. So each segment will be 2.25 inches. Are we on the same page? Then on this last segmented point, I'm going to go in by half an inch. Then on the first segmented point, I'm going to go up by 0.75 inch. Are we on the same page? I'll go ahead and connect the points like so. So guys, this is all for drafting. I'll go ahead and add my seam allowance. On this part that will be joining to the shoulder, I'll be adding half an inch for seam allowance. Then for this side, I'll be using 1 inch for seam allowance. You can use half an inch if you want. Then I will connect all the markings like so. So guys, this is it for the sleeve when I'm cut. So this is all I have for you for today. If you find this tutorial helpful, please subscribe, comment, like, and share. See you in my next video. Bye.